Hey folks, this is American Patriot Truther here with another video. Now, while everyone is distracted with political theater, with racism, with all this other nonsense, while the Illuminati is playing the divide and conquer order out of chaos Freemasonic play card, you might find this video very relevant and important to share. Now, this clip, this 15-minute clip, is from a movie or from a film named New World Order, Communism by the Back Door by Dennis Wise. Now, this is one of the best films I've watched yet regarding the New World Order. Now, there's some things I do disagree with it, which you'll see when you watch this clip. But I would recommend watching it, and I'll leave it down in the description of this video for you guys to watch, because it's not on YouTube. It's not available on YouTube. It's deleted. So I'll leave it in the description. So this clip is from Bill Cooper, and you guys are going to find this very relevant to what's happening today, and I find it important to share. So I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of this video. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Ever since I saw the plan back in 1971 and 72 when I was on the intelligence briefing team for CINCPAC Fleet to bring about one world totalitarian socialist government, and when I saw that the United States was behind the whole thing to create world government over the ashes of all sovereign nations and existing religions around this world. This is not coming from without. The United States created the United Nations. The United States created the European Union.
The EEC was created by the Central Intelligence Agency, working through a lodge in Italy called the P2 Lodge. Propaganda 2 is the name of it, which is the intelligence arm of the Vatican, and Prince Bernard, who is the leader of the World Council that controls these secret societies around the world, called the Bilderberg Group. They are destroying it. They are subverting it. Our Constitution has not been allowed to work since 1945, and maybe even earlier. And they have been working behind the scenes to bring about a one-world totalitarian socialist government with the Communist Manifesto as its platform, through the United Nations, which was created by this nation from an older organization called the League of Nations, which was the original foundation. And at the highest levels of our government, the Constitution's already been scrapped, and they are working under the aegis of the UN Participation Act and the United Nations Charter.
Which says what?
Which says that there are no rights, there are only privileges. And privileges can be granted or taken away at will by the state.
Quite frightening scenario.
It's a very frightening scenario, and people better wake up to the fact that unless they wake up and do something about it now, there's only going to be one alternative. And that's either take up arms, restore the Constitution, and the blood will run in the streets of America, or reach down and put the shackles around your own feet and march off into slavery peacefully.
Well, it shocked the hell out of me, but they thought I was one of them. It was an accident that I got in there. I'd been a member of the Demolay Society when I was 13 years old, only attended 3 meetings, and then my father was transferred to Japan. I never saw another lodge and never went to another meeting, and that was the end of that. And I filled out all my documentation for my top secret QSI security clearance, which was required to be able to work in the command center and on the briefing team at CINCPAC Fleet. I didn't see Demolay on there, so I checked Freemason. And when I checked Freemason, that's what opened all the doors and got me the security clearance and put me in those positions to be able to see what I saw, and I think the hand of God was working when that happened so that I would be able to warn His people of what was coming. And I've been doing that ever since. I didn't see absolutely everything, but I saw enough to give me an edge and a vast head start on anybody that's ever lived before in the public sector that's not normally privy to this. And I spent the last, well, ever since researching to find out what it all meant and where we're going. They know that there's a hardcore group of American men and women who are devout, religious, moral people who love freedom and are dedicated to the concept of liberty and freedom and will fight to protect and defend constitutional Republican government against anything that comes along. And when that begins, it's going to be a terrible, terrible thing. I've spent most of my adult life trying to warn people and wake up enough people so that this did not have to happen, because I know it's going to be terrible. Since 1988, when I began telling the world, not just the American people, but the world, about Majesty 12, which is the plan to enslave the human race in a world totalitarian socialist government, the merger of the military of the United States and what used to be known as the old Soviet Union under NATO, which is occurring now. People don't understand that NATO is an arm of the United Nations. It was formed under the auspices of the United Nations Charter and takes its orders from the Security Council. Warsaw Pact was also formed under the auspices of the United Nations Charter and was an arm of the United Nations and took its orders also from the Security Council. The Cold War was a total farce, and that's why we never had any military conflicts with the Soviet Union.
George Bush said it very clearly, but nobody was listening when he said, "No longer will any nation stand against a world united." And with that action, he established the legal foundation in international law that the United Nations is now legally a one world government. You see, our forefathers were also members of this secret group, and this country was founded to bring about the New World Order.
So at the beginning, the founders of this country actually did create what was I guess you could say, an above-board, good government basis for a good government.
Yes. They gave us every tool to ensure the success. But it was an experiment, you see, because man had always claimed that he could rule himself, but had never been allowed to do that. In the history of the world, there had never been a people who were truly free or who truly ruled themselves until the United States of America was created as a republic by which we ruled ourselves through elected representatives whom we sent to the State House, either in the States or to Congress. They also gave us every tool by which we would destroy ourselves if we weren't capable of doing it. The United States and France, the revolution in this country and the revolution in France, were created to bring about governments which would function as the antithesis to the kings and queens of the world and cause them to topple off their thrones. It also gave man a chance to prove once and for all whether he could rule himself or not. And if he could, fine, that would be the New World Order. If he couldn't, they built the tools into the Constitution to allow them to take it away from us. And those tools are the creation of the federal democracy within the boundaries of Washington, D.C., and the right to contract, through which, if we were irresponsible, we would contract to receive rights from that federal democracy and thus, in return, give up our freedom. And that's exactly what's happening. You are seeing the destruction of the economy of the United States. And it will continue. It will not get better. We need to send people to Congress and to government who are going to clean house. Kick all the members of secret societies out of the bureaucracy. Try them for treason. Because they are traitors.
It's not against law to buy a firearm. It's not against law to buy anything that they sell at the gun show. And bringing these tanks and stuff around here, I tell you what, being an American first, no one's going to hurt me or my family. That's American policy here. You could have arrested me any day as I jogged up and down this road. You could have arrested me going to town or going to Walmart, and never will I ever appreciate somebody coming here with 2 helicopters and cattle trailers and all that. Because this ain't America anymore when the ATF has that kind of power to come into anybody's home and kick doors down and things like that. Somebody's going to get hurt. Hey, this is my family. You come pointing guns in the direction of my wife and my kids, damn it, I'll meet you at the door any time. And I'm sorry some of you guys got shot, but, hey, God will have to sort that out for me.
The people whose ancestors came to the New World to escape religious persecution in the Old World stood and watched the Branch Davidians burn, including all of their children, all of their women, and they cheered and said it was because they were a bunch of religious fanatics. And to their shame, I have to tell them they are stupid, ignorant sheeple who are on the verge of enslavement, and they're going to deserve exactly what they get.
What I've discovered is there's no proof existing anywhere that extraterrestrials are real or that have ever visited this planet. There is not one shred of evidence anywhere. There is lots of evidence, tons of it in fact, that there are a group of people who want us to believe in some extraterrestrial threat from space so that they can cause a bringing together of all the people to resist that external threat. 8 times during Reagan's administration, he inserted almost the exact same phrase into 8 of his speeches.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
He walked on the moon. Tonight, he says, aliens are among us.
They obviously have a different body configuration than we do, and the little grays, that's the most prevalent one.
Dr. Mitchell is one of only 12 people who have walked on the moon. He says he has never personally seen an alien, but believes the people who say they have.
I just hope they cling to their technology with all they've got. I hope they train every soldier to use computers and not be able to function without a satellite uplink and all of that stuff, so we can just kick their butts and try them for the crimes that they're guilty of. They have declared war upon me and all patriots and everybody in this country who has taken an oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And if the Civil War has to start on my doorstep, that's as good a place as any.
This all happened in a little town called Eager, Arizona, which is just on the eastern side of the state of Arizona. It's almost on the border of New Mexico. Sheriff's deputies, we understand, were trying to serve some type of arrest warrant on a man by the name of William Cooper. He's also known as Bill Cooper.
He has a website, we understand, and on that website he acknowledges that there is an arrest warrant for him, but he writes, and we're quoting here, any attempt by any federal government agent or anyone else to execute the unlawful arrest warrants will be met with armed resistance. Any person who attempts to kidnap our children will be shot upon discovery, and that is apparently what happened during the gunfight. Cooper himself was shot and he was killed, was shot and he was killed, and he was killed.